Greetings, Wing Scholars. It's great to see you again. Welcome to video 2, getting to know your student success coach and academic policies for the Wing Scholars program. In this video, we're going to talk a bit about the academic GPA requirements, requirements for how many credits you should take every semester, but you're also going to get the great opportunity to hear from a fellow Wing Scholar about their experience in college and what they've needed to do to be successful. You ready for all that? Make sure you grab a pen and paper because you definitely want to write down the information that we're going to be sharing in this video. All right, let's get into it. Okay, so the first thing, when we talk about a student success coach, most of y'all are like, what's that? And I kind of talk about it a little bit in my intro, but really a student success coach means I'm here to coach you to being successful. That sounds kind of simple, right? But no, that's the truth. My background has been working with college students over the past almost 8 years now, helping them with everything from advising to developing multicultural and diversity programming on college campuses, to even overseeing residence halls, or dorms as some people like to call them. But if you want to be one of the cool kids, call them by the real name. We call them residence halls. Ain't a dorm no more. But, I was a hall director for a couple of years as well. So pretty much every aspect of your college experience, whether I experienced it, back in the day when I was a student, or I worked in that area, more recently, I will be able to talk you through some of the different issues and things that you may face on campus. And that's what being a student success coach is all about. It's about coaching you and talking you through some of the different experiences and, like I said, roadblocks, but also celebrating the successes. You can ask any of the scholars when they tell me that they've done something amazing or have accomplished a goal. I'm right there celebrating, like, woo, 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 let's go. So I'll be there to do that for you. So let's see, that's kind of like a counselor slash, confidant, mentor, personal cheerleader, wrap all those things in one, plus sprinkle a little more in there. You got me. So I'm really excited about being able to support you all in that way on your journey. As a first generation college student myself, I can't undermine or really overemphasize enough how important it is to utilize your resources as a college student. A lot of times when I was in college, I got caught up in thinking that I could do it all by myself, or that, if I asked someone for help, then I was less than, or maybe someone would think that I shouldn't be at that campus or I didn't deserve to be there. But really, the smart thing to do is to ask for help, is to reach out and utilize your resources. And when it comes to Wings and on the program, on the scholarship side of your experience, I am one of your first lines of defense. So you'll have my information. You'll be able to FaceTime me, email me, talk to me on the phone, text, whatever you need, pretty much I'm going to be here to do. And we'll get into in a few moments just kind of how we have some of these conversations and some of the different platforms we'll use to communicate with one another, to make sure that you are feeling supported, because you can't be successful if you aren't feeling supported. All right? Boom. As a Wing Scholar, like I said, you'll have access to me via different technologies. One big platform that you're going to hear a lot about is called Schoology. And on Schoology, we are going to have it set up like a virtual classroom, but I'll have you all grouped off according to your class year. So all of my first year scholars are going to be in one classroom, and then all the upperclassmen scholars are going to be in another one. And then any scholars who may need a little bit extra support to bring up grades or anything like that, I'm going to have a whole other classroom for you all. Each classroom is going to have a variety of resources, and you'll be able to interact with me, interact with one another. We're going to have some discussion board posts, some, photo challenges, things like that. We're really going to, build an online community because, as you all may or may not be aware of, Wing Scholars are all across the country. And I mean, even me, I'm in Washington, D.C. So shout out to any of my folks in the DMV, but we're all in different places. But because Wings is there to support you holistically and who you are as a whole person, it's not the type of scholarship where we just throw money at you and say, hey, okay, graduate in 4 years, I hope. We're really building a family here. And in order to do that when we're all in different places, we're going to have to get creative and use the technology available to us. So, Schoology, I'm going to make sure that you see some screenshots. We'll probably have some of those like right about here in the video, but to make sure that you can see what it looks like. But you'll be getting the invitation to Schoology by the end of August when we're ready to open up the classroom for this upcoming year. So be on the lookout for that email and get on there, engage, and just really enjoy it. Alrighty? Besides Schoology, we're also going to have some webinars, and I'll be doing that. I'll probably be posting them through Schoology, but we'll also have a live component to those. And a webinar, simply, if anyone hasn't sat through one before, a webinar is essentially like an online virtual you can say a presentation, but it really won't be that way with these. There will be different topics that I'll cover, and part of that is going to be finding out what it is that you all need and what you all want to hear about. But I'll have a topic, and I may present some information or have a guest speaker come in. But then there'll be live Q&A, so we can interact. If of course, if you have questions throughout, we'll have an opportunity for that. But looking for different ways to bring you all the information that you need. And we know that there's not one way that anyone learns, and definitely not one way that works for a whole group of folks. So we're going to be hitting you from multiple angles. Again, as I mentioned, we do make use of technology by way of utilizing FaceTime, phone calls, email, text, however, whatever you most need or feel comfortable with in terms of getting that success coaching. And that's going to be one-on-one calls. So sometimes, you may just say, hey, B, I need to talk, or I have this going on. Can we schedule some time to chat? Yes, please do that, please. That's what I'm here for. So we'll have those opportunities. Then we may also have some opportunities to engage in some group dialogue. So connecting you with Wing Scholars on your campus, and hey, let's have like a virtual chat, like a Google Hangout or something, so that we can communicate and see what's going on campus. Do you all feel connected and supported? Do you all know each other? So doing some of that work as well, moving into the upcoming school year. That's going to be a priority. Other than that, as I stated, anytime you want to schedule a call or a chat, you can do that via email, text. My contact information will be listed at the end of this video. So, boom. Yeah, so let's get into some information about academic policies. I know y'all been waiting for this. In order to continue being funded as a Wing Scholar, does anybody know what GPA you have to have cumulatively? I'll give you a guess. All right, I can't hear you anyway, so I might as well tell you, huh? You must maintain a 2.5 cumulative GPA. 2.5, okay? So that's, not just for the semester, but for the entire academic year. And as you move on, cumulatively, you need to have a 2.5. At the end of your first semester, at the end of each semester, we conduct a transcript review. And if you're falling below that requirement, we're going to do some outreach, send you an email and ask you to get in contact with yours truly, to make sure that we put a coaching plan in place so that you can improve your academic standing and keep your scholarship. We don't present you the scholarship only to take it away. Our goal is to have you be funded until you get your degree. So we're going to try to put some steps in place to make sure that you have the extra support that's needed and, point you in the right direction, because sometimes you just need to know where you need to go on campus. There may be some personal things that you've been dealing with, but we won't know to support you through that if we don't know. So we'll do some of those things. Now, if you don't have, for first year scholars, so you all listen up, especially for you all, if you don't have a 2.5 at the end of your first semester, we're not dropping you. We keep you on because we give you at least a full academic year to reach that GPA threshold. So we'll again reach out, do some more intensive support at the end of your first year. So for most people, that's about May, June 2019, we'll conduct another transcript review. If you have not reached the 2.5 at that point, okay, we have to have a more intense look at where you did land. If you did land between a 2.0 to a 2.49 cumulatively, we will place you on probation. That essentially buys you an additional semester funded to get your academics together and to get to where we know that you can get, so that you can maintain scholarship eligibility. If you have below a 2.0, at that point, we may have to have some tough conversations about your future with the program. But because we know that life happens and we can't always control what happens and how that impacts us, we will, just make sure maintaining communication is key. Because, if you experience a significant loss in your family or any other number of, traumatic things that could potentially pop up and happen, we understand, we care about you all as people. So we will have conversations around how to move forward if those things have negatively impacted your academic performance, and how to keep you on and support you through so that you still get to where you need to be. Other than that, that's the GPA requirement and how probation works. If you have any questions, we'll make sure that we get to those when we do the question and answer portion of the virtual orientation. The other piece to remember when it comes to academic policies is full-time enrollment. What does full-time enrollment mean? Each college or university has what it deems the minimum amount of credits that a student needs to take in order to be considered a full-time student. At a lot of campuses, it's about 12 credits, but you really have to find out what is it for your campus, because your campus may say, hey, you need to take at least 15 credits to be considered a full-time student. So you want to make sure that you're registering for the correct amount of credits. The reason why we do this is to make sure that you're on track to graduate. If you don't take the right amount of credits each semester, then you could find yourself needing, extra semester, extra year to finish your degree. And while our goal isn't to prioritize rushing you through college, we care more about you being successful. We do also want to make sure that you are making wise choices and decisions and being informed about what it is that you need to do to ultimately move through your coursework and to receive that degree. Okay, so full-time enrollment, making sure that you enroll full-time every semester, knowing what that means for your school. Make sure that you're pushing for, I always tell students, if you push for more than the 2.5, then you'll at least know that you're hitting the goal. So push for that 3.0, push for that 3.5, okay? Heck, go for the goal, get the 4.0. No, seriously, we just ask that you do your best, and we know that each of you have a stellar academic past and the ability, even if maybe you kind of fumbled a little bit in high school, we know that each of you have the ability to be a remarkable college student. So we just ask that you push and shoot for the stars each semester and really give it your all academically, okay?
Okay, so being a part of Student Success Coaching Mentor Program was great. It was a wonderful experience. Actually, I dedicate my whole success to the program. My mentor, Brandon Brown, he checked up on me every time. He helped me with time management and told me everything I need to do in order to be successful. We sat down, discussed my schedule, and talked about everything, and even besides school, we talked about personal things that I need help with. And he was a great mentor, and I dedicate all my success to him. And I'm glad that I became a part of the Wings Success Coaching Program.